It's time for you to destroy that narcissist ego. That's right. It's time for you to destroy that ego and act like they don't even exist. You see, acting like they don't exist or aren't important to you is a guaranteed way to get on the narcissist's bad side, especially if you have to put up with them, if you have to have them in your life. It's time to destroy their ego. And you probably caused them a lot of mental pain, which they may or may not say out loud. And at this point, the narcissist is likely to start poking around, looking for a way in. If the narcissist in your life won't admit they did something wrong to you, and you know that they won't, or make things right, you know that they won't, it's time to stop feeding their ego completely. It's time for you to close the door and ignore them completely. If you cannot walk away from them, minimize as much as possible. I'm talking seriousness, y'all. This is business. Because this is what you have to do. You have to stop feeding their ego. And they might throw you a little love curveball, right? To make you feel bad about giving up on them. But then they'll go right back to making your life hard all over again if you allow this and you fall for this. And if you can't avoid the narcissist, you have to do everything you can to keep your emotions in check. And I'm talking in check. One way to deal with a narcissist is to avoid them, or even just not even give them any of your time, any of your attention. And the most effective strategy is to stay calm and have just always in a good mood. You're in a good mood anyway when you're not around the narcissist, right? Even if you have to fake it until you make it. I know. Because guess what? We are authentic. Who wants to pretend? But around a narcissist, you have to do what you have to do. If you cannot steer clear, you have to move like this. See, narcissists have a hard time understanding this idea. Narcissists go out of their way to find victims so they can take out all their anger on other people. They believe that all of their hard work will pay off in the long run. What hard work? But this is what they believe. And when you don't give them anything, you see, they worry that you moved on without them. So they're ready for the worst, right? And the narcissist will feel better about themselves once they understand that they lost the tit-for-tat game, right? They get a sick thrill out of seeing you hurt yourself with anger and hatred. That's why they project all their bad stuff onto you. And any ex-narcissists, who have noticed your growth should stay far away from you. Whether or not other people see it, you have value, okay? Narcissists are jealous of our successes because they show how worthless they really are and how they'll never be able to do the work that we can to get ourselves back together. They can't heal, y'all. Heal from what? They don't think anything's wrong, right? They'll never be as good as us or feel the wonderful emotions that we do or do the wonderful things that we can do because we are good, authentic people. And it can't be on you. It has to be in you. See, it's in us. It's not on us. We're not a big walking facade, a big walking contradiction. That's the narcissist. And that's the way you have to treat these people. Y'all, when you're stuck dealing with the narcissist, you have to learn how to stop feeding their ego. I'm serious, y'all. A lot of y'all are feeding their ego, trying to keep the peace. Listen, you have to draw a line somewhere, and I get it. Some of y'all have coworkers and people you're close to. Some of y'all still living in the house with people like this. But you have to learn to stop feeding their ego. I'm talking completely. At some point, there needs to be a shutoff valve. And you have to stop this. Because what you do is you're feeding the beast and you're making it worse. This is what you're getting when you're dealing with narcissists. You become an enabler. And who wants to be an enabler? Feeding that type of behavior. Because it doesn't make them get better, they get worse. As long as somebody's behind them with the pom-poms, cheering them on, it makes their behavior so much worse. So for those of you who are still feeding the narcissist because you feel you have to, it's time to kill that ego. It's time to stop doing that. You have to stop doing that. Giving them what they want, doing all this extra stuff, making them feel some type of way, enabling their behavior, have them feeling like what they're doing is right, or cheering them on. A lot of y'all do this to keep the peace, and guess what? Listen, you're not talking to somebody who don't know. I know, I was there. But at some point, guess what Yolanda had to do? Stop feeding the ego and tell them how I really felt about them, which I'm not suggesting most people do. Tell a narcissist how you really feel about them. But you have to, at some point, turn off the valve and stop feeding into the things that they do, because it's wrong. And you become an enabler after a while. You become a part of the show. You're condoning their behavior. You're signing off on what they're doing. And they're destroying you, or seeking to destroy you, the whole entire time that you're signing off on this type of behavior. You have to stop. That's what you have to do, y'all. I see a lot of people do this with narcissists and think that it's okay. It's not going to stop how they treat you. You're only going to make them worse. And listen, they're going to treat you bad regardless. But because you sit there and clap about it, it makes them worse. So much worse. As long as they have somebody in their corner rooting for their behavior, they will not stop. They're not going to stop anyway, but you make it so much worse when you're in their corner and you're rooting for them just to keep the peace. There's no peace with the narcissist. It's always pieces. No peace, just pieces. I promise. Listen, I just want to share that with y'all. Take the time out to like, comment, share, subscribe. Until next time.